Okay, so a little bit more of music theory. I'm going to get now into the circle of fifths. So we were saying earlier how each major scale is kind of unique in that it has a certain number of sharps and flats. So like the C major scale is like the purest one because it's C to C and there's no sharps or flats inside of it. So the next one in line would be, let's just say what scale has one sharp in it, and that's the G major scale. So that's G to G, and the only note that is sharp is the F note. Okay, so you've got G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and that G to G is that scale. Um, if it was G to G without that F sharp, it would be a different weird scale that we'll get into later. Um, but then goes the D chord, the D major scale, I'm sorry, that has two sharps, and then A has three sharps. So that's something like you could try to memorize, but it would be pretty difficult. So there's a way to think about it that's actually pretty cool, is the order of sharps. Um, so what that is we know that the G to G major scale is has an F sharp in it. All right, so if you go to the D major scale, that has D to D, and you keep that F sharp from the previous one, because G had F sharp, and then you also add a C sharp. So before I keep going, we know that C has none, then G has F sharp, then D has F sharp and C sharp. So the next one is going to have F sharp and C sharp and another new sharp. Okay. So the order of sharps is F, C, G, D, A, E, B. Okay. So a nice way to remember that is Father Charles goes down and ends battle. All right. The reason that's cool is because it's nice to know it backwards as well. Battle ends and down goes Charles's father. Okay, so it's really cool tool to memorize something like that. And the reason it's called the circle of fifths is because the reason you're going C to G to D to A is because if you go C, D, I'm sorry, C, D, E, F, G, the fifth is the G, G, A, B, C, D, 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 E, F, G, A. So that's where you're going C, G, D, A, E, B. But again, the memory thing, you could remember that forwards and backwards pretty easily. And then the C sharp major scale is going to be C to C. So, but all of them sharp. So C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp. And that's why, usually you wouldn't say B sharp, because if you go to the fretboard, go to the second string of the A, or no, I taught you the top string. All right, so if you go, I was saying E, F, G, A, B, C. So if you get to this B, if you sharp it, meaning raise it one half step, it's the C, but just in a different frame of thinking, you would call that the B sharp because you're in the key of C sharp, where everything is sharp. So it's pretty rare that you would see that, but people always say, oh, there's no such thing as B sharp or C flat. It's not really true. It's just a different way of thinking about it. And the reason jazz musicians call the circle of fourths is because they go in they think of it in flats more commonly. So it would be like C, and then F has one flat, B flat, but don't worry about that stuff. I usually think of things more in sharps than flats. I think that's probably the way most people do for guitarists. Yeah, there's a lot of information in there. I think I got all of it in there, maybe not in a perfect order, but especially when I was explaining the sharps, I should have mentioned that sharp and flat means to raise it a half step or to lower it a half step. And, you know, a half step is one fret up. You know, each one of these is a half step. A whole step is 2 frets. A step and a half would be 3. So, I don't know. I think I might pause it there. I don't think I'm going to get much more into theory right now. And, or I guess one last note is that, you know, everything I've been telling you about right now has kind of been like the C major scale. Say you wanted like a C minor scale or whatever, or like an A minor scale. An A minor scale is A to A with no sharps or flats, and that's why it's the relative minor of C. So looking at it that way, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you get the first, the third, the fifth, and it's an A minor. A, C, E is an A minor. That's about all I could think of for right now, and I'll call it at that.